Hey, what's up? It's Angel, as most of you may already know. So I decided to put together this video. It's basically a Walkaway video. Came across the Walkaway campaign on YouTube. It's an organization that was founded by Brandon Straka. They basically share videos of people like me who were once liberal or would normally vote Democrat. So as many of you may know, I'm from New York, the Bronx, and it's a blue state run by Governor Cuomo and then Mayor de Blasio. But yeah, throughout this whole pandemic, I was never into politics, but I had a lot of time to actually research. Before me actually, getting into politics, I probably would have voted for Bernie Sanders. I was a Bernie Sanders type of guy, only because the idea of like free healthcare and then also like free college and stuff like that. But I never like really dug into Bernie. But actually, since I had the time, I dug into a lot of people, and then I found quite a lot of things alarming. But since he dropped out of the campaign, I had no choice but to, dig for Joe Biden. And when I dug for Joe Biden, I ended up coming across like the 1994 crime bill, and that was like quite concerning to me. But yeah, not only that, I dug and I, watched a couple of films on YouTube. One film I came across was like Hillary's America. I would suggest everybody checking it out. It's by Dinesh D'Souza. It shows the origin of like the Democratic Party. And another reason why I feel like I have to speak out is because like I noticed the media and like all these celebrities are trying to like portray Trump supporters or conservatives as like being racist. I completely don't agree with that. If you dig in the history, you would know which party is actually the most racist and the most wicked party. But I would suggest everybody just dig and then find out the information for themselves. But yeah, I also came across an audiobook called United States of Socialism. It was also by Dinesh D'Souza. And it talks about the radical left and their whole agenda with like Ilhan Omar and then also AOC, Bernie Sanders, and their whole agenda to try to like make United States like a socialist country, which is basically like another term for like communist. But I dug and I ended up researching, finding out a lot about like the Republican Party. And when I dug, I ended up finding out that the Republican Party tried to pass the Civil Rights Act in like 1875, and it was never passed because it was blocked by Democrats. Also, I noticed that the Republicans fought for the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. They also fought for women's rights, and the Democrat actually opposed all that. And the only reason why I'm speaking now is because I know this time right now is not a great time to be a Trump supporter. A lot of people are actually silent. They're actually scared to like speak up because they might lose followers, they might lose friends or family, maybe even a job. But to be completely honest, in my opinion, it's something we have to do because we're like fighting against our freedom. In my opinion, and like as I say, me supporting Trump, I'm not voting against you. To be completely honest, I'm voting like for us. Like it's for our freedom, in my opinion. Because I believe the left, their whole agenda is try to make the United States a socialist and a communist country, which would not work. Taxing the rich does not work when you dig deep. But also, without the film, I also came across another film, Uncle Tom, which talks about like black conservatives, talks about like Larry Elders, Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, ABL, which is Anthony Brian Logan. King Face as well. That's a person who inspired me to do this video. He just passed away. Rest in peace to King Face. He basically broke down everything that Trump did for like Black America, and then also urban minorities, the color, Hispanic, Latinos like me. Because before this whole COVID thing, like the economy was booming, like basically, and like Trump had the lowest black unemployment rate, also the lowest black Hispanic unemployment rate, and out of nowhere this whole COVID thing come. And in my opinion, which I'm entitled to, I think this whole thing is just something that was just blown out of proportion, thanks to the media and then also the Democrats. Because if you notice, the states and stuff that is doing the most mandates are blue states, and the most states that are like fear mongering and like making us scared with this whole thing are blue states, Democratic states. And then also the media. Like I used to watch CNN, and I stopped watching CNN because I started noticing that they were just trying to put a lot of fear in our heads, and then I don't know, it was just very weird. And in my opinion, like I said, I feel like it's like left-wing propaganda. And then something that drew a concern to me as to why I'm gonna start supporting Trump is because I noticed the media always bring up the whole triple K thing. Everybody know what the triple K thing is, and then the whole white supremacy thing. But if you dig, you actually find out which party actually created that. And in my opinion, he been condemned it from like 2016. He condemned them plenty of times. Like there were plenty of hate groups that he condemned, and they just keep on repeatedly just bringing up that question. As in my opinion, I feel like they're trying to just stir up more racial division and more racial tension, because that's their job, just to agitate and to instigate it. Not only that, like I'm all for Black Lives Matter, the idea of Black Lives Matter, but in this time I was able to dig into a lot of it, and I actually noticed that it's more or less a Marxist organization. I support the whole idea of Black Lives Matter. I do truly believe Black Lives Matter. I also believe all lives matter. I know somebody will call me a Karen or some shit for that, but I feel like I have to be completely honest. Sorry for my language, but yeah, I believe that as much. But there's a book that I came across. It's called Color, Communism, and Common Sense. It's about Lyndon Johnson and how he escaped the Communist Party. Basically, he explains how they try to implement communism and socialism within the NAACP, which in my opinion, and also Marxism within it, in my opinion, I feel like they're doing it with the Black Lives Matter organization, because if you research and you dig deep, one of the founders, well, all three of the founders admitted to be, trained Marxists. But that's just my opinion, which I'm also entitled to. But one thing I have to say is that, another thing I noticed is that the left doesn't condemn Antifa. They're supposedly anti-fascist, but in my opinion, I completely believe they're the biggest fascists, because they tend to attack, or they tend to silence or try to cause havoc on somebody who have opposing views. So if I was to be in front of an Antifa guy and I explain my views, they wouldn't agree on it. But they're not gonna attack me, but they're willing to attack Trump supporters, which is not pretty cool. And I think, in my opinion, that's the whole purpose of the Proud Boys. The media tries to bring up the Proud Boys or whatever and try to say that they're a hate group. I truly don't believe so. They're like against Antifa. Like they're trying to protect the United States and keep America great, basically. And they're proud patriots. But not only with that book, I came across Liberal Media Industrial Complex by Mark Dice. He explains how the whole media system is just like left-wing propaganda. It's a great book. And then Candace Owens' Blackout. So Amazon did me dirt. They put like smear Vaseline rubs in it. But I haven't finished this book completely, but I would suggest, everybody get in it if they don't want to, if you want to watch the film or you want to read a book, or you can just learn it faster within the film, like the origins of the Democratic Party. This is a great book to learn it. Basically, she breaks down how they've been using us for many, many years. The only reason why we continue to vote Democrat is only because LBJ signed the Civil Rights Act in 1964, which he was a Democrat. But if you dig and dig, you actually understand that Republicans were the one who voted for it. He only did it because he knew that we will continue voting Democrat for the next 200 years. But I would suggest checking that out. Summer King's Face interviews, Brandon Tatum on YouTube, Larry Elders. The another thing that drew my concern was the whole Uncle Tom thing, how they, whoever have opposing views, they tend to call him Uncle Tom. But when you read this book, Color, Communism, and Common Sense, they break everything down. Like, this is all the agenda of the left. Like, they want to cause this racial division. But that's my opinion, then again. And also another great book is Discrimination and Disparities by Thomas Sowell. I would suggest, if you don't want to read the book as well, you could just search out videos of Thomas Sowell on YouTube. Very dope interview. He's a federalist, conservative federalist, I believe. That's the political party. I don't believe he's a Republican, but I think he supports Donald Trump. But I just want to say, in my opinion, I feel like the left is like bringing so much hatred, and they're trying to demonize Trump supporters and him alone. And I don't believe he is as evil. Why? Is because throughout this whole time, I actually had time to watch one of his rallies. I watched the Tulsa rally, and when I watched his speech, they were actually motivational, inspiring in a way. You may call me crazy, but to me it was. But the media will portray it and spit it up some whole other way. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot I have to say. It's all love from me. There's no hate in my heart. I know a lot of people might unfollow me because of my opinions, but that goes to show, I'm not allowed to have opposing views or, critically think or, freedom of thought or freedom of speech. But yeah, that's the beauty about America. We're allowed to have this. And in my opinion, the only reason I'm speaking out is because I feel like if Joe Biden wins, we're gonna lose that. And I would suggest digging about Joe Biden and the whole Democratic Party. There's a whole bunch of things I can say on here, but I can't because it's a wicked game. And I just pray for everybody. God bless, love. And like I said, there's no hate in my heart. There's a lot of things I want to touch base on, but I'm trying to keep this video short. It's almost 10 minutes, but all love. God bless. Trump 2020.